fix it, and I'll marry you." The words explode across the hangar, loud enough to drown out the hum of the lights above. Colonel Margaret Hale smirks, her tone dripping with mockery. Around her, the laughter of uniformed officers bounces off the steel walls. The F-35 behind her stands silent and broken, its open engine bay glaring like a wound. She turns toward Marcus Reed, a young black recruit standing by the toolbox, sleeves rolled up, eyes steady. His hands are still greasy from hours of failed attempts by the base's top engineers. "Oh, come on," Hale sneers, gesturing toward the $30 million fighter jet. "You talk like you know what you're doing. Prove it. You get this bird flying before sunrise, and I'll hand you an officer recommendation myself. Maybe even a wedding ring." The hangar erupts in laughter. A few recruits whistle. Even the pilots chuckle from the sidelines. Marcus doesn't move. He just watches her, silent, unreadable. Hale crosses her arms. "What's the matter, Airman? Scared of a little responsibility?" Chief Master Sergeant Elena Cruz, watching from the corner, frowns slightly. She's seen this before. Hale's power games, the way she toys with anyone who doesn't fit her perfect pedigree. Marcus finally speaks, his voice calm but firm. "With respect, ma'am." "I wasn't talking to you." The laughter fades instantly. Hale tilts her head. "Excuse me?" Marcus wipes his hands on a rag, eyes still fixed on the silent jet. "I was talking to her." He nods toward the F-35. "She's trying to tell you what's wrong." "But nobody's listening." A few officers snicker nervously. "Oh, we've got a poet now," one says. Hale smirks. "So the jet's talking to you, is it? Maybe you should take her out for dinner first." More laughter. Marcus doesn't react. He kneels beside the intake fan, resting one hand on the metal, ear tilted toward the engine's belly. For a moment, all you can hear is the faint hum of electricity, the tick of distant machinery. Then he says quietly, "It's the compressor." Hale scoffs. "We already checked that." Marcus glances at the diagnostic tablet on the table. "No, ma'am. You checked the sensors, not the sound." She raises an eyebrow. "The sound?" He nods. "Engines don't lie. They tell you when they're choking." The laughter returns, but softer now, uncertain. A few engineers exchange looks. Hale steps closer, her boots clicking against the floor. "You think you can fix a billion-dollar system by listening to it?" Marcus stands, meeting her gaze without flinching. "I think I can give her her voice back." The silence that follows is heavy. Even Cruz is staring now, intrigued. Hale forces a laugh. "All right, Reed, you've got until dawn." "You fail. You're cleaning hangar floors for the rest of your enlistment." "You succeed." She smirks again. "Well, we'll see how you look in a tux." Marcus nods once. "Then I'd better start now." He walks past her, toward the crippled F-35. The crowd watches, half amused, half curious, as he begins removing panels. His movements calm, deliberate, confident. Hale turns to her officers. "Let him play hero," she says. "Maybe he'll finally learn that talent without pedigree means nothing." But Cruz keeps watching him. There's something about the way he moves, like he's not guessing. Like he already knows the machine's secret. Minutes pass. The crowd begins to drift away, laughter echoing down the hangar. Only Cruz stays, arms crossed, eyes narrowing as she sees Marcus do something odd. He starts humming. A low, steady tone that matches the vibration of the F-35's silent heart. "What's he doing?" a junior tech whispers. Cruz shakes her head. "Listening." The colonel's voice fades into the background. The only sound now is Marcus's quiet hum and the faint metallic echo that seems to answer him back. He leans in, whispering under his breath, "You're not broken?" "You're just waiting to be heard." A shiver of static hums through the engine. Marcus's eyes flick open. A spark of understanding flashes behind them. He straightens slowly, turning toward Cruz. "Chief," he says, calm but certain, "I'm going to need compressed air, acoustic sensors, and about 4 hours," she blinks. "What for?" He looks back at the F-35, its steel frame glinting under the hangar lights. "To listen properly," he says, and as the clock above ticks toward midnight, Marcus Reed, the recruit everyone laughed at, sets out to prove that even silence has a voice. "Are you seriously listening to that jet?" One recruit mutters, smirking. What's he gonna do next? Sing to it? Marcus doesn't answer. He crouches under the belly of the F-35, one hand pressed against the metal, eyes closed. The hangar hums with fluorescent light and quiet disbelief. Around him, everyone is watching, some amused, some confused, but none believing he'll last an hour. Above him, Colonel Hale's voice cuts sharp as a blade. This isn't a church service, Reed. You don't pray engines back to life. Marcus opens his eyes, calm, steady. No, ma'am. I listen to them. The snickers grow louder. Even Master Sergeant Alvarez shakes his head. Kids lost it, he mutters. But Cruz, still leaning in the shadows, doesn't move. She's seen too many cocky recruits fall apart under Hale's cruelty. Yet there's something about this one, his quiet focus, that feels different. Marcus slides a small diagnostic mic into the intake, tilts his head, and hums softly. The sound that comes back isn't random. It's patterned, rhythmic, like a whisper trapped inside steel. He murmurs, mostly to himself. Every system vibrates at a frequency. When it's wrong, you can hear the lie. Hale folds her arms, amused. So you're psychic now? Maybe ask it about my horoscope while you're at it. Marcus ignores her completely. He's tracing the sound with his hand now, eyes narrowing. He grabs a wrench, loosens one small panel, and presses his ear closer. There it is again, a faint skip in the resonance, like a skipped heartbeat. A sound only someone who's listened for years would notice. It's not the sensor, Marcus says quietly. It's the compressor blades. Something's lodged deep in the core. One of the engineers scoffs. Impossible. We scoped it twice. Marcus turns to him, voice calm but firm. Did you listen? The man opens his mouth, then closes it. Marcus picks up a flashlight, peers inside the cavity, and smiles faintly. It's not about the data. It's about the tone. Hale's patience snaps. This is ridiculous. You're wasting everyone's time. He glances up, meeting her gaze. Then let me waste it properly. That line, soft, measured, and fearless, sends a ripple through the room. Even Hale hesitates. Marcus continues working, calling out evenly, Chief Cruz, can you get me compressed air and a frequency sensor array? Cruz blinks, caught off guard. For what? To map the distortion, then reverse the flow. Reverse the flow? Alvarez laughs. That'll blow the seals clean off. Marcus doesn't flinch. Or it'll blow out whatever's blocking the compressor. Cruz studies him for a beat, then nods slowly. You really believe that'll work? Marcus wipes his hands on a rag, eyes back on the jet. It's not about belief, ma'am. It's about rhythm. This engine's fighting for breath. I just need to clear its throat. The hangar falls silent again. Hale crosses her arms, glaring. You've got 4 hours left, miracle worker. When this explodes in your face, I'll have you cleaning toilets till retirement. Marcus just nods. Then I'd better get to work. As Cruz walks off to gather supplies, Marcus kneels again beside the fighter jet, hand resting gently on its skin. The cold metal hums beneath his palm, uneven, restless, alive. He listens, then, barely audible, he whispers, Talk to me. Somewhere deep inside, the engine answers with a tremor. A sound so faint, so real, it sends a chill up his spine, and for the first time all night. Marcus smiles. Every engine's got a voice, the old man said. You just gotta shut up long enough to hear it. Those words echo in Marcus Reed's head as he crouches under the F-35, his flashlight cutting through the metallic shadows. The hangar is cold and still, the air heavy with doubt. Behind him, the senior engineers have gone silent. No more laughter, no more jokes. Only the sound of Marcus working, methodical and sure. He can almost hear his grandfather's voice through the hum of the jet. Flashback years earlier, a small garage in Alabama, summer heat thick as syrup. A teenage Marcus kneels beside a rusted P-51 Mustang engine, wiping sweat from his brow. Big Zeke Reed, gray beard, oil-stained hands, eyes that could see through steel, leans over the hood. Close your mouth, boy, he says. You don't fix nothing by talking. You fix it by listening. Marcus frowns, confused. But Grandpa, the gauge says the fuel pressure's fine. Zeke chuckles, deep and warm. That gauge lies. Hear that hiss? That's air sneaking where it don't belong. The engine's telling you she's tired. He taps Marcus's ear gently. This right here's the best tool you'll ever own. Back to present. Marcus steadies his breathing, listening. Not with his ears this time, but with his memory. Every vibration, every pulse tells a story. Something's off. Not mechanical, musical. A dissonant note in a perfect chord. He grabs a sensor array from the table and begins mapping frequencies. The monitor lights up in irregular bursts, high spikes where airflow should be smooth. He overlays the readings in his mind, tracing the rhythm until he finds it. A sharp, repeating frequency near the turbine's second stage. He whispers, "There you are." Chief Cruz watches from a few feet away, arms folded, eyes narrowed. She's seen countless recruits bluff their way through maintenance drills. But this kid isn't bluffing. He's communing. Colonel Hale approaches from behind, her voice slicing through the tension. "Are we fixing jets or holding seances, Reed?" Marcus doesn't look up. "Almost done listening, ma'am." Her tone hardens. "Listening won't get this aircraft ready for NATO's eyes tomorrow." Marcus lifts his head, calm and certain. "It already told me what's wrong." A beat of silence. Then he points toward the compressor housing. There's foreign debris in the core. Microscopic, maybe metallic. It's vibrating at an offset frequency, killing the airflow. Alvarez, standing nearby, snorts. "You can't hear microscopic debris." Marcus straightens, wipes his hands. "No, but the engine can." The crowd murmurs, unsure whether to laugh or believe him. Cruz finally steps closer. "You're saying the diagnostics missed something?" "Yes, ma'am," Marcus replies. "The sensors only read error codes. They don't understand tone." "I do." Hale crosses her arms, feigning amusement. "And how exactly do you plan to remove this invisible miracle dust, Mr. Whisperer?" Marcus meets her gaze. "Reverse the airflow. Force it out." The hangar goes still. Alvarez bursts out laughing. "You're insane. You'll blow the compressor apart!" Cruz glances at the data on her tablet, then at Marcus. His readings, impossible as they seem, make sense. He sees her hesitation and says quietly, "You asked for a miracle, ma'am. This is the only way." Cruz looks between him and the colonel. "If it fails, the engine's done." Hale smirks. "Perfect. Maybe when it explodes, it'll knock some humility into him." Marcus doesn't flinch. "Permission to proceed?" Cruz holds his gaze for a long second, then nods. "Do it." Marcus exhales, a flicker of determination crossing his face. He kneels again, placing his hand gently on the F-35's side, like he's greeting an old friend. Softly, he murmurs the same words his grandfather once said. "Let's get you breathing again, girl." The hangar lights flicker. Compressed air hisses, and as the system winds to life, Marcus Reed, the kid they laughed at, prepares to gamble everything on a sound only he can hear, shut it down before he blows the whole damn engine. Colonel Hale's voice cracks through the hangar like a whip, but Marcus Reed doesn't move. His hand hovers just above the throttle control, eyes fixed on the readout screen. The numbers are jumping wildly. Air pressure, vibration, temperature, every warning light flashing red. The reverse flow purge sequence is already running. "Reed!" Sergeant Alvarez shouts, panic in his tone. "You're gonna rupture the core seals!" Marcus's voice stays calm. "Not if the airflow finds the blockage first." Sparks flash across the hangar floor. A cable trembles under the force. The jet screams, a deep, metallic howl that makes every engineer step back. Chief Cruz stands frozen a few feet away, torn between protocol and instinct. The smell of ozone fills the air. "Cruz, stop him!" Hale snaps. "He's destroying a $30 million aircraft." Cruz's eyes don't leave the monitor. "Wait, what? Just wait!" The roar grows louder, like thunder trapped inside steel. Marcus's knuckles whiten as he steadies the air control lever. Sweat rolls down his temple, but his voice stays steady. "Come on," he mutters under his breath. "Breathe, girl." "You can do this." The engine howls again, the pressure gauge climbing past safe limits. The hangar lights flicker. Then, suddenly, there's a sharp metallic clink. Everyone freezes. Marcus's eyes dart to the vibration readings. Flat, smooth, perfect. The roar drops into a steady hum. Every warning light fades to green. Cruz exhales sharply. "Oh my God." Marcus lowers the throttle slowly. "Microscopic debris," he says quietly. "Lodged between the second stage blades. Reverse flow dislodged it. The room stays silent. No one dares speak. Then one of the engineers whispers, "He actually fixed it?" Hale's jaw tightens, her face draining of color. "You?" "Got lucky." Marcus turns, wiping the sweat from his forehead. "No, ma'am. I listened." The line hits the hangar like a bomb. Cruz steps forward, checking the readouts. Pressure's stable. Flow's normal. She's clean. She looks up at Marcus with something new in her eyes. Respect. "That's one hell of a call, Airman." He nods humbly. "Just doing what I was taught." Alvarez shakes his head, disbelief etched across his face. "You could have blown it to pieces." Marcus looks back at the humming jet. "Or saved it. Depends on whether you're afraid to take a risk for the right reason." The silence lingers. Then Hale breaks it with a scoff. "Don't think this makes you some kind of hero." "You gambled with government property," Cruz turns sharply. "He repaired government property, something your entire team couldn't do in 12 hours. The colonel's jaw flexes, but she says nothing. Her authority, the thing she's built her whole career on, has just cracked. Marcus glances at the clock. Dawn light is spilling across the hangar floor. He turns to Hale, calm as ever. "Ma'am," he says softly, "you might want to call the NATO delegation. The jet's ready for the demonstration." Every eye shifts to her. For the first time all night, Colonel Hale can't find words. Marcus walks away quietly, wiping his hands with a rag, leaving only the faint sound of the restored F-35's perfect, balanced hum behind him. Cruz watches him go, whispering under her breath. The engine wasn't the only thing that got fixed tonight. Outside, the first sunlight hits the runway, and for the first time, the recruit they laughed at stands taller than every officer in the room. "Engines are go for ignition." The words echo through the hangar as the massive F-35 shudders awake. The jet that had been dead only hours ago now hums with a perfect living rhythm. Dawn spills through the open doors, painting the aircraft gold. Marcus Reed stands beside it, grease still on his hands, dark circles under his eyes, but there's a quiet fire in his gaze. Across the hangar, Colonel Hale straightens her uniform, pretending composure. The NATO officials are arriving, their convoy of black cars gliding across the tarmac. She forces a smile as the generals step out, their polished shoes reflecting the morning light. "Good morning, gentlemen," she greets, voice steady. "Your demonstration aircraft is ready." Chief Cruz exchanges a knowing glance with Marcus, who stays silent in the background. Hale's tone is calm, but her eyes dart toward him, just once, sharp and nervous. General Peterson looks impressed. "Excellent recovery, Colonel. I heard the engine had a major failure." Hale laughs lightly. "Just a minor complication." "My team handled it," Cruz mutters under her breath. "Your team, huh?" Marcus doesn't respond. He just watches as the pilot climbs into the cockpit, sliding on his helmet. The canopy seals shut with a hiss. "Fuel pressure stable. Systems nominal," the pilot calls out. Marcus's chest tightens. This is it, the moment of truth. If he miscalculated even slightly, the entire compressor could seize at takeoff. The colonel crosses her arms. "Let's see if your miracle holds," she murmurs, almost to herself. The hangar clears. Engines spool up higher and higher until the air vibrates with power. Then, with a burst of flame, the F-35 surges forward, streaking down the runway. Everyone watches in silence. The jet lifts off smoothly. No sputter, no stall, no flicker. Just clean, perfect acceleration into the morning sky. Cruz lets out a low whistle. "Well, I'll be damned." Hale blinks, stunned. For a moment, her mask slips. The reality settles in. The recruit she mocked had done what her engineers couldn't. General Peterson turns to her. "That's flawless performance, Colonel. Tell your mechanic he just saved the show." Her throat tightens. "Yes, sir." But before she can recover, a reporter nearby shouts, "Is it true one of your recruits fixed it overnight?" Cameras turn toward Marcus. Cruz steps forward proudly. "That's him!" Airman Reed. Flashbulbs explode. Questions fly. Hale's forced smile freezes in place. The power in the hangar, the hierarchy, has shifted, and everyone knows it. Marcus says nothing. He just watches the jet soar higher and higher, sunlight catching on its wings. Cruz claps him on the shoulder. "You just saved this base's reputation, kid." He smiles faintly. "Just did what I was taught." Above them, the fighter jet rolls across the horizon, its roar echoing like a promise. Cruz looks at him with quiet pride. Your grandfather would have loved this moment. Marcus's gaze follows the jet, eyes shining. Yeah, he says softly. He's probably smiling right now. Behind them, Colonel Hale stands rigid, expression pale, realizing that the very man she tried to humiliate just rewrote her legacy. In front of the world, the cameras don't focus on her. They're all on Marcus, the underdog who fixed the impossible. Did you see the report? The question buzzes through the base like wildfire. By noon, every screen, every feed, every soldier at Fort Pendleton is staring at the same headline. Reed's acoustic fix saves F-35 demo. Recruit outsmarts top engineers. The story spreads faster than the jet that caused it. Reporters circle the base gates, cameras flash, and whispers trail behind Marcus Reed everywhere he walks. But inside the command office, the mood is anything but celebratory. Colonel Hale sits rigid behind her desk, her knuckles white against polished wood. On the wall, the same article glows from a military tablet. Marcus's name highlighted beneath her own command signature. Her jaw clenches. How did this get out? Master Sergeant Alvarez shifts uncomfortably. Ma'am, the NATO press team, they confirmed the report. General Peterson's office issued a statement. A statement? She snaps. I'm the commanding officer here. Cruz stands in the corner, arms folded, tone calm but firm. And you almost grounded a $2 billion demonstration because you wouldn't listen to a recruit. Hale glares at her. Watch your tone, Chief. Cruz steps forward, voice steady. With respect, Colonel, the tone you should have watched was the one coming from that engine. And the one coming out of your mouth. The tension thickens. Hale doesn't reply. Her authority, the one she's built her entire career on, is cracking under the weight of truth. Outside, Marcus sits quietly on a bench, trying to process it all. The other recruits, once smug and dismissive, now walk by with nods and murmured congratulations. A few pat him on the shoulder like he's suddenly become a hero. He doesn't smile. He just watches the sky where the jet he saved had flown hours earlier. Cruz approaches, sitting beside him. You okay, Reed? He exhales slowly. Didn't mean to cause all this. She chuckles softly. You didn't cause it. You just reminded everyone what real skill looks like. He looks down, thoughtful. Feels strange, though. Yesterday they laughed. Today they act like they knew me all along. Cruz nods. People only believe in you after someone important tells them to. The sound of footsteps interrupts them. A voice clears its throat, stern, commanding. Airman Reed, says General Peterson. Marcus stands instantly, posture straight, every inch of him back in discipline. Sir, Peterson studies him, unreadable for a moment. Then slowly he smiles. Son, what you did yesterday saved this base's reputation, and the Air Force a few $1 million. How'd you even think of it? Marcus hesitates, then answers honestly. My grandfather taught me to listen. Peterson nods, clearly impressed. Well, maybe it's time the Air Force listens to you. He hands Marcus a sealed folder. You're being recommended for an accelerated promotion, technical warrant officer training. You'll help us integrate your method into standard diagnostics. Marcus blinks, stunned. Sir, I don't know what to say. Peterson smiles faintly. Say you'll keep proving people like her wrong. He tilts his head toward the glass window, where Hale stands watching from her office, face pale, eyes cold. As the general walks off, Cruz grins. Told you, Reed. Sometimes the system just needs a louder voice. Marcus exhales, still processing the weight of it all. He glances toward Hale's window one last time. Their eyes meet through the glass, her authority fading, his rising like the dawn. He doesn't gloat. He just gives a small, respectful nod, because victory doesn't always roar. Sometimes it hums, quiet and steady, like a fixed engine finally running right. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Cruz says, her voice echoing through the packed hangar. I'd like you to meet the man who taught a fighter jet how to talk back. The crowd laughs softly, but it's a laugh of respect this time, not mockery. Reporters stand shoulder to shoulder, cameras flashing. Recruits line the walls, eyes wide. At the front of the room stands Marcus Reed, no longer the quiet mechanic in the corner. His uniform is crisp now, his new insignia gleaming under the light. Behind him, a plaque reads, "Read Acoustic Diagnostic Program, Fort Pendleton." Marcus steps forward, clearing his throat. "When I first got here," he begins, "I was told to follow orders. Keep quiet. Don't try to outthink the chain of command." A few people shift in their seats. They know who he's talking about. He smiles faintly. "But my grandfather, Big Zeke, he taught me something different. He said, 'Every engine has a voice. You just gotta respect it enough to listen.'" The audience leans in. His tone is calm, but every word carries weight. "What I've learned," Marcus continues, "is that the same goes for people. Doesn't matter where you come from, what color your skin is, or how fancy your degree looks. Everyone's got something worth hearing. You just have to be quiet long enough to listen." The room falls completely silent. Even Colonel Hale, sitting stiffly in the back row, can't meet his eyes. Her once flawless posture now looks forced, her medals dull under the lights. Cruz smiles proudly from the side. "That's why you're here, Airman Reed," she says. "Because you reminded this entire base what leadership actually sounds like." Marcus nods humbly. "I just did what I was raised to do." He gestures toward the massive screen behind him. A live demo begins, his acoustic mapping system showing the heartbeat of a jet engine in color and sound. Vibrations ripple across the display like music. "This program will help every base across NATO detect engine issues before they happen," he explains. "No more failures, no more wasted millions, no more accidents." Applause fills the hangar, but Marcus's eyes find Hale again. She doesn't clap. Instead, she stands slowly, her jaw tight. Then, with a strained smile, she turns and walks out, her heels echoing like an ending note. Cruz leans over to Marcus, whispering, "Looks like not everyone likes your kind of music." Marcus smiles slightly. "That's okay. Engines don't lie. Neither does truth." He turns back to the recruits in front of him, dozens of young faces watching, inspired. "You don't need rank to have a voice," he says firmly. "You just need the courage to use it." The applause rises again, louder now, raw, unfiltered, real. And as the hangar fills with the sound of engines warming up for their next flight, Marcus Reed stands tall, no longer the underdog, because the world is finally listening.